Welcome, everybody. What an incredible story. Think about science and how it helped Colin win. And we all think about how many pitchers started in major leagues and went through 2 seasons of losing and probably were put on waivers and weren't successful. Think about how we're changing the world through the use of data science. And what special moments for Colin, because he was able to actually achieve his potential because we prescribed him. That's what's special. And that's why I believe we're changing the world with using data science and helping our teams be more successful. So I know a lot of you probably thought, what happened in 15? Was 14 a fluke? Did he do any better in 15? I don't know, let's see. So in 15, he won 19 games. 19 games, he did better than 14. Why? Confidence. If you think about it, the data science told them what made him successful. Then on top of that, we actually had to drive confidence in him gaining confidence that he could succeed. And that success translated into 19 wins. And that's why data science is important. That's why we've had this passion. Because at the end, we focus on building technology to help people be successful. It's thinking about it. How do you challenge and win when you have all of these data elements, all of these conditions that are happening, and you can't look at data in real time and make those decisions? We're computing all of this. If you look at Colin McHugh's case, you know, if you looked at his ERA, the traditional data that you would always look as a coach, as a manager, would tell you he can't make it. But when you look at all of the data you're able to find, it's the same thing that we're doing for sales. It's understanding the attributes that matter and providing the guidance to sell them what are the right offers, what are the right prices to make them successful, all in real time, because the world is changing very fast. And it's about that connected data that makes a difference. So from there, where do we go? So what we see is you can apply the same data towards your customers and how you're improving that customer experience. How do you drive the same data that's prescribing to your team and to your analysts and drive that same data towards buyers? So why is this important? We think one of the most profound business trends today is that we're in the age of the customer. If you think about it, when you came into this conference, how many of you expected to receive a 3-inch binder? How many of you want one? Raise your hand. You don't, right? You expect a mobile app. You expect all of the information to be given to you in a simple way and not to have to carry a binder, because it is the age of the customer. We expect a frictionless world. We expect a great experience. We expect companies to know about us. We expect them to give us a mobile experience, a web experience that's seamless, and we expect a great customer experience. I wanted to talk about 2 companies that I admire a lot that have innovated on experience to win. So Amazon, imagine when they started. You know, people saw them competing in the retail industry, but they saw themselves very different. They actually didn't see themselves as a traditional retailer. They saw themselves as a technology company. They saw themselves thinking first about customer and how do we create an unbelievable customer experience. That's how they won our hearts. Why? They made it easy for us to find our products, know if they're in stock, look at reviews of what other customers are saying about the products, quickly see what are like products that I may want to buy, what are complements, all in a seamless user experience and instant gratification, right? And I can deliver it to my house quickly, easily, return it quickly and easily, all frictionless. Big difference. They're continuing to innovate on that front with Amazon Echo, right? Why do they want to invest in having a device in your home? Why is that strategic? It's strategic because they want to know more about us. They want to be more connected. They want to reduce even more friction of our buying process. They want us to be able to use voice recognition, to play music, to order our products, remind us that our air filters in our house need to be replaced. That's all that's possible with their device. And think about it. They're captivating our hearts and our minds, right? We're more likely to buy with Amazon in a seamless, frictionless experience than try to go to a store. Imagine the difference. You may go to Home Depot or your favorite store, and maybe the filter will be there. How many of you like to find somebody, they may know where the filters are, and then you may end up getting to that aisle and the filter's not there. I mean, how is that frictionless? That's what they've redefined. That's what they've changed. Disney is a company I've always admired. And some of you may not know, but Disney made a $1 billion investment in MagicBands. $1 billion. Single purpose to create a frictionless experience for the customer. From the moment you think about coming to Disney to when you're back. Imagine going to the board and saying, we're going to invest $1 billion because we want our customers to have a magical experience. Well, they made that bold investment. What did that help enable? That enables that I can come to Disney with my family and have everything set up before I come here. Have a bus take me to my hotel, have my bags follow me to my room and not have to wait for them. Having to be able to go to the theme park and know that my kids are going to be able to get on their rides. Pre-book a restaurant. Pre-select the meals that I want. And when I get there, be greeted because they already know who I am when I got there, rather than having to sign up and have the food follow directly to my table, directly to each of my family members. What an incredible experience. Think of the magical moments they can create. So if my daughter's birthday is in a particular day that I'm in the park and Minnie is close by within 40 feet, she can actually come and say, Alexis, happy birthday. You imagine all of the things that are possible because they invested in technology and enablement and learning about data in real time to remove friction of every point of a customer. And I don't know about you, but when I travel with the family, I don't want friction. I don't want to stand in line, right? How many of you want to go in line and wait for tickets and spend, 40% of the time dealing with hassle? And think about how both Amazon and Disney are differentiating from their competitors because their sole focus is how do they make the customer experience the best possible. So for any Disney Imagineers that are here, I'd like to ask one more thing because I think we can take the experience even to another level. And I'd like to ask the weather to be changed to what we like. I think you can make it happen. I'm sure there's another $1 billion investment towards weather, but that's, I think, one of the last remaining areas that you could make to have an incredible experience. So why is this important to everyone? Gartner did a survey of execs, and they believe that customer experience is a new battlefield. They believe that 89% of leaders are expecting to compete primarily on customer experience. And how does this change from 4 years ago? Well, 4 years ago it was 36%. So think about it. 89% of leaders today believe they're going to compete primarily on customer experience. That's why this is important. That's why you have to take a customer-centric view. So what's needed? Obviously, many of you have invested on technology, data science, e-commerce, mobility. And that mobility, e-commerce platform, and data science has to help support your direct channel, your direct sales, your channel, and your customers. Customers expect you to know about them. And think about it for a second, all of you. Think about all of the products that your company has. Now think about a favorite customer of yours, and think about what products are relevant to that particular customer in a point in time. And most of our businesses have pretty wide range of products that are for very different segments. And think about it, are you creating a world where you're mapping to your customers what's relevant to them? That's what we need to create, right? They shouldn't have to find, out of all of the products that you have, what's relevant to them, but you actually narrow down what's relevant based on their preferences, based on what they bought in the past and their interests. Tracking all of these interactions in real time and creating a personal experience. That's what's needed to really drive and improve customer experience. With that, I'd like to talk about some of the leaders that are really innovating on the customer experience. And I'd like to bring Wilbur Reed on stage, who led an amazing transformation at S.P. Richards around the customer experience and actually driving technology to improve customer performance and customer experience. Wilbur, thank you. It's great to have you on stage.
All right, thank you. S.P. Richards is an office supply distributor, and the primary customer base that we've got is independent office supply dealers. And an independent office supply dealer can be anything from very small mom and pop, 5-employee, $2 million business, up to some fairly sophisticated 50-plus employees, internet presence, $50 million company. Well, about 10 years ago, we were in a strategy session, and we were talking about the future of the company. And a couple of things came to the discussion that were really interesting. One is the fact that margins are eroding throughout the industry, and we need pricing software to get better at what we do. The other thing that came up that was interesting was how our long-term success is tied to these independent dealers. We need for them to be healthy, vibrant, thriving, profitable businesses for our long-term success. And back when margins were, in the mid 30% for gross margins, the dealers didn't have to be that good at pricing. They could be okay with, just sort of winging it. However, with increased competition and things going on in the market, that margin for error was gone. They had to be good or they were going to be gone. And so we came to pros and gave them our idea. We said, hey, we want to use your software internally for our use, but we also want to license it for our dealers to help them become more profitable. And so pros said, we've never had anybody ask that before, but let's do it. So we joined in a partnership. We set up a separate database for our dealer point of sale data, so they fed their data into that database. We gave them access to the scientific analytics module from pros, so they were able to pull down reports on their business and get information there. But then, because we had visibility into the end user pricing then, we were able to give them price guidance on, here's what things are selling for in the market. And so they were able to become more profitable. A couple years after that vision meeting and we had it implemented, we had one of our largest customers, the owner, came and sat with our CEO and said, we're behind on our bills. We can't pay it because the gross margins are so thin. We need your help. We need some concessions on the pricing. And our CEO said, well, are you using MyAnalyst? That's how we branded the product, was MyAnalyst. Are you using MyAnalyst? And he said, well, we signed up for it, but we're not really using it. He goes, okay, start using it and then come back to me in a few months and then we'll talk. And his margins went from a 21 to a 24 within 6 months. And within a year, he was at 26% gross margin. He hired 20 new sales reps, self-funded by the margin lift that he got from implementing the pricing strategies that we had helped. So not only did he become more profitable, he became a much closer partner with us, and the loyalty factor was there. So today we've got over 200 dealers. Our top dealers are using the product. When we look at the numbers, for the industry, margins are going down. But for those 200 dealers, margins are actually up. Sales are up, and it has become a great win-win for both us and our customers.
Incredible story. Thank you, Wilbur.
Thank you.
Appreciate you sharing that story. Think about not just thinking about how you're powering your sales team with the right tools, but but thinking about how you're innovating also with your customer in mind. How are you making your customer more successful? How are you reducing friction from that customer process? Next, I'd like to bring Dr. Jutta Rockman on stage from Lufthansa Airlines. Congratulations. So, Jutta, it's great to have you here. Did an incredible innovation in Lufthansa around the group selling process, which I wanted her to share.
Okay, thank you. The group booking is a very important business for Lufthansa. It contributes significantly to our overall revenues, and we are very proud that we have been launching customer for pros for the new GSO. While in the past, the process has been absolutely manual, and it took days to get, and it took the phone calls and using the fax and emails going back and forth from the agent to the back office until the final or a good offer could be made. The new process is completely automized. It is fully transparent. It is real time, and it gives immediate overview on the offers we can make for the customer, which are thousands of agents worldwide. So we have rolled that out, and we are happy to be launching customer. We had a great project. It was fun working with you, and we will continue this year. So long story short, our revenues and our numbers in bookings increased by more than 15%, and that has really been our most successful project in 2015 in revenue management. Thank you.
Thank you, Jutta. Amazing accomplishment. Thank you. So think about group booking process. Instead of going through a help desk and a travel agent, which I know how many of you really want to go through a travel agent, automating it, just like you and I are used to from a passenger perspective. That's what they were able to accomplish, really transforming the way the group business is going to be run now, all real time with immediate response, and that gives them an incredible competitive advantage. Next, I'd like to talk about CincoVase glass. So it's a 350-year-old company, a manufacturer of glass that's basically worked with pros on our smart CPQ e-commerce platform, but their mind was all on the contractor, the general contractor that's going to a job site, whether it's residential or commercial, and how do they make their life easier? With that, I'd like to share a video so you can see what that experience is like. So that's their Disney moment. That's how they're creating that incredible customer experience. So think about their contractors. They can buy from many glass manufacturers. And now there's a company that actually created an app to make their job easier, to be able to bring their phone, be in the job site, look at what glass products they need, dimensions, sizes, look in the phone in real time, select the product, configure, buy, and know when they're going to get it. All in real time, all simple. Think about before. They had to write it down, go back into their office, call someone, look at all errors could be made. They don't have instant. They can make their choices right then and there. And if they're with their customers, they can show them everything that's available in real time. So they can choose among different products at different price points. It's all about creating an incredible customer experience. And why we're doing it is because that's an area you have to differentiate as much as on innovating on your products. It's as important to innovate on how you're creating a frictionless experience from your customers as it is innovating in your products. So with that, I'd like each of you to think, whether you're in sales, whether you're a leader in revenue management, whether you're a leader in pricing, how are you creating Disney moments? How are you thinking from the customer's perspective? Not just, a lot of you have innovated incredibly on the areas of bringing the technology and tools for your teams to be successful. This is the enablement. This is the foundation that's going to allow you to bring this technology to your customers. And how are you first in your market to bring a new level of technology to your customers that makes them successful? And I know some of you may think my industry is a little bit different. This probably does not apply. Trust me, it applies to all of us. All of us have to think. We all are experiencing companies that every day are creating a better experience. Think of Starbucks, every one of us. In our experience when we're dealing in a consumer industry, as we're dealing in a business transaction, it's the same. We expect the same. So I want to challenge each of you to really think about how you're transforming your customer experience. And I also want to thank all of our customers and partners for attending this event and coming from across the world to share your experiences. Everything that you share is making all of our companies better. So thank you, and hope that you have an incredible next 2 days. Thank you.